Okay. I don't know if this is live, if this, mine's frozen. Okay. Okay, I think it's working. I guess the whole point of trying it out like this without announcing to anybody was, yeah, that figure there's a good chance this was going to be a train wreck. And yeah, I didn't want to get anybody's hopes up. I didn't want to get my own hopes up. So just giving this a shot, but I am for real drawing Little Archer number 12. This is real. This is really happening. And my goal will be to have it up, throw it up on Patreon. Oh, what's up, guys, in the chat? Chase, I don't know if you're still on here, if I lost you, but good to see you, dude. Something nerd related. I like your username. It's so generic. It could just be whatever you want it to be. Something nerd related. Do we know each other from somewhere? Do you follow the comics from anywhere? Or you just kind of were browsing? True that. True that. I wonder, I feel like this chat might be a little faster than Twitch. I don't know. Oh, Reddit. Yes. The my favorite and my least favorite website on the whole internet. Reddit, man. It's you know, I until recently I never even went on Reddit, but it's just a no-brainer if you're gonna try and publish comics or really anything. There's no way to get exposure faster, more effectively, let's say, than Reddit. You get feedback real quick, and it's not always kind, but if you learn to take it the right way, it is always helpful. And try and do these as block letters. I sketched them, so you can see I've already got the sketch done for this comic. And I sketched these letters because I was being lazy, just as sticks. But I think they should be block letters. I think in real life, in the Little Archer world, I think they would be block letters. I think they'll be lit up by the time I'm done, actually. So, all right, we got 2 people watching, and I think one of them is me. I think it counts me for having the thing. Why is there an information desk in Little Archer's world? It's a good question. It's a very good question. They are. Have you read all the Little Archer comics? Something nerd related. Like, are you up to date on them? On your Little Archer lore? That wouldn't explain the whole thing, but they're in a city. Ooh, wow, that's a big eraser. You can obviously just go read them, but they're in a city called Ignior right now. The Lava City. And they're looking, obviously they're still looking for Little Archer's parents. So this guy is, after they finally, if you read the last episode, they were trying to get into the city and they had some issues. If you haven't read it, I won't give it away, but so anyway, they're here to ask this guy. I usually do the dialogue last, so I may have to change my workflow when I'm streaming, but they're going to be asking this guy if he has any ideas where Little Archer's parents might be. So Yeah, I think it'll work. Someone should write fanfics. They should. They really should. Actually, there was a guy who told me, a friend from Instagram told me he was thinking about doing a, I guess basically a fanfic episode, and throwing it up on Reddit. I told him he was like, "Is that cool?" I'm like, yeah, sure. But I haven't seen it, and I haven't asked him about it since then. But yeah, that would be dope. I mean, honestly, that's the best part about drawing comics, is interacting with you guys and seeing, you know, what you like and what you don't like. And yeah, I mean, fanfic stuff is like the ultimate. I mean, that's like reaching third base as far as drawing comics goes. Dang, these straight lines. Honestly, is the reason I've been afraid to stream for so long, is because I literally cannot draw straight lines. I mean, I can catch lightning in a bottle, but I cannot draw straight lines. Does, dude or dudette, does like the audio sound okay? Oh, Mr. Gothic Dream. Thank you. I need that affirmation. Welcome to the stream. Audio's good. Is there music even playing? I spent like an hour messing with this stupid thing, and I don't even know if you guys can hear it. Okay, good. Good. Are you guys, is it late for you guys where you are, or like, are you guys European boys and girls, or are you guys Americans hopping on the chat early, or Australian? I mean, I guess for Australia it would be like a ridiculous time. But hey, Australians are crazy, dude, so I won't even, well, let me not say that, unless maybe some of you are from there. New Zealand. Hey, Sophia. So technically I did not insult New Zealanders. I just said Australians are crazy. Very, very different. Georgia, right on. I've been through Savannah, Georgia many, many times. Norway. Okay, so we're like all over the world right now. Excellent. Yeah, I am in Cologne, Germany at the moment. But I used to live, I guess you could say, close to Savannah, Georgia. I was in Gainesville in Florida is where I went to school. Have you ever been down there, Mr. Gothic Dream? Is it a Reddit? It does look like, actually, it does look like what's that dude's name? The Reddit doll. It is not, and when I color it, it will be a little more clear. These are supposed to be Magma Golem plushies. So if you read the last episode, they interact with this a Magma Golem, and so this is like a souvenir shop. I hope that doesn't look explicit. Your sister was born in Gainesville, is that what you're saying? That's kind of random because it's not like a well, it's not that random, right? Because Shan's is there. She must have been born in the university hospital, right? If I'm just guessing. Yeah, they're in the Magma Town. I'm calling it Ignior, which was kind of like I thought it was I was being really funny that it's the same letters as ignore. Because like the people of the city are, in theory, they're like crazy. They're insane because they built their town at the foot of a volcano. So it's all clear if you just read Little Archer number 11, the last comic. Which I should have a link. I should have a link to that somewhere, shouldn't I? But I feel like you guys probably know where to find it. Yeah, we're getting deep into Little Archer lore. I mean, it's a rabbit hole you do not want to go down unless you've got just hours. I mean, we're only 11 episodes in, and it's already deep. Okay, yeah, I see, Mr. Gothic Dream. I'm still reading your. We're still having our own one-on-one conversation about Gainesville. So you never lived there. Just your parents, and then y'all moved, I guess, or maybe you just moved up. Dude, I love Georgia. It's like I feel like in Florida you don't get enough of like the cold slash. Seasons changing, so I think Georgia's kind of a good mix of that with, not being like a frozen wasteland. But where I want to retire, I mean, I'm like, well, I won't tell you how old I am. But I'm not close to retiring. But I want to retire in Tennessee. My wife and I were in Kentucky like 2 years ago. And that to me is like the most beautiful part of the country. Like Tennessee, Kentucky, and my wife's parents are planning to move up there when they retire, so it would be cool to be around them. You don't really want to be alone, especially if we start giving them grandkids or whatever. So finally drawing a cool part of my comic. Berserker's my favorite to draw, honestly. Because he takes less detail than Little Archer is a bit tricky to draw. I mean, obviously he's a ton of fun too, because I mean, he's just adorable. But Berserker was actually the character I kind of came up with first. And I do like sort of the simplicity that he's got. I'm looking down at I was looking at my drawing for too long. I've got to keep track of the chat here too. Yeah, we need some alternate realities. Yeah, well, so who was just talking about, was that something nerd related, was talking about we need some fanfics. So you guys could get that started. We need some Little Archer fan fiction. Because I feel like that's how, well, like in Marvel, they get all these alternate universes from having multiple people writing themselves into like holes, I feel like, and then they're like, what do? We killed Spider-Man. We need a new universe. So I'm not willing to kill these guys, not yet. So if you guys want alternate universes, that's up to you to to start the fanfic. Is that, yeah, okay. I kind of lost sight of what the heck I drew in my sketch here. It was pretty sloppy. How long does it take to make a comic, start to finish? It's a good question. It's not so easy to answer because it depends a lot. Like, whatever the last, let's say the last comic I did was not a Little Archer comic. Honestly, probably took me less than an hour start to finish. Whereas, like, including sketching. Whereas the Little Archer comics, I go for a little bit higher quality, if I'm going to be honest. And they take much longer. How long would I say? And each one's getting longer too, because like when I drew the first one, the detail that I put into it was actually kind of minimal. But now it's like I'm pouring my whole entire soul into these things. So, but it's because I love it. You know, it's because I really do enjoy this series, working on it and chatting with you guys about it. And I'm gonna try to live stream. So just today on my train ride home, I finished the script for all 10 episodes for this season. So this is number 12 out of 20. And I'm going to try and live stream all of those, and probably once a week, just because that's the workload I have, or the bandwidth I have, let's say it that way. And it may not always be on Thursday night like this, or Thursday, for me it's night. And I don't even know if I can finish it in one sitting. So I don't know how often I'm gonna try to live stream at least once a week, just with these Little Archer comics for now, because I think that's what people are most interested in at the moment. And I'm just kind of, I didn't even announce that I was streaming this one, because I figured something might go horribly wrong. And I only wanted my most loyal, beloved followers on here if that happened. So that's you guys. Wow, it looks so much worse. Oh, it's 8 a.m. where you are, Sophia? That's actually like not even bad. It's like on the opposite, like it's tomorrow. So that means, okay, so New Zealand is like straight up 12 hours ahead of me. Dang. I think that's where Loading Artist lives. Do you guys, I'm sure you've probably heard of his comics. Sophia, do you ever watch his streams? He's like the expert comic artist streamer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worth looking up. I think yesterday he had the top comic on our comics on Reddit. I mean, he's like always up there. But he's been doing it for a really long time, making comics. But he streams on Twitch, and he's got, I mean, he's been doing that for a long time too. So he's got a pretty good following over there. And yeah, definitely check him out. So I've already tried to pick up a few things, a few tips and pointers from him. And he's super nice too. I've chatted with him a couple of times. That's kind of true about everybody who draws comics that I have run into. It's like the nicest group of people. It's kind of weird. I'm sorry, I need to focus on this line. My gosh. I'm not doing it right. Yeah, it's good enough. And I know I changed it from the sketch, but that's because I hated the way it looked in the sketch. Yeah. Cool. Here, I'll zoom out. Yeah, I haven't shown you guys the whole sketch here yet. I don't mean to bore you with just a bunch of lines. So we talked a little bit already about where they are in the storyline. So they're inside of Ignore. They got inside the wall because Little Archer leveled up. And they're asking this guy, the information booth dude, if he has any suggestions where they would look for his parents, because it's, information desk. And here's Little Archer. So he's leveled up to level 3 now. And so I wanted to change something small about him. So I added, you guys can tell me what you think. I'm just adding a hem to his cloak and a buckle. So now he's got an adjustable quiver strap. So level 2, he got pockets and stretchy pants and the coat. So that was kind of a big level up for him. Level 3 is a smaller, more of a, what would you call it? What is the word I'm looking for? Cosmetic level up. So I feel like ever since I moved to Germany and I try to speak German, try to learn and speak German, I'm getting stupider at English, as evidenced by that sentence right there. So obviously it wouldn't be an info desk without some welcome pamphlets. Will he ever find his parents? Yes. It's a good question. Me saying yes was not answering the question. It was, that's just what I say when you ask a good question. I will tell you, I have made a decision on that, but I'm not going to give away what the decision is. But you won't have to wait too long to know the answer. If that's, I hope that's a satisfying way to respond to that. This part might not even be legible. Yeah, whatever. Unless somebody zooms in on it, they probably won't even be able to read this, but that's fine. It's those little details. Sometimes people like zoom in on a little detail of a comic and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you put that detail in there. And they're like, that's why I love this comic. You're like, okay, like that's why. It's not, you don't like it because of the, like the storyline or the actual artwork. You just like the little detail, so you got to put it in. You got to put the little details in for those people. A little notepad. No. No. I think I pretty much got all the lines here. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. Get this one. Do you want him to find his parents? Something nerd related? What would be your... I'm curious to hear your thoughts. It'd be nice to have a happy ending. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, it is funny the number of people who say like, oh, you know, I love the, like this, it's such a wholesome series. Is funny to me because I was not really going for, I mean, definitely like with some episodes I'm going for wholesomeness, and that's kind of how the relationship has turned out, but as a whole, the I didn't have in mind that this would be like a, you know, a wholesome series. And in season 2 there's going to be a lot more bloodshed, so I'll just tell you that right now. you guys are reading these comics with your children, send them to bed. Not in this episode though. This one's just gonna be a kind of cutesy one, I guess you could say. I need to do some setup, so I got it's hard not. Yeah, you're right. It is hard, and especially once I roped in the friendship mage. As soon as Martin told me I could borrow the friendship mage, I knew, like, what are you gonna do? Not like make a not wholesome comic with the friendship mage? Come on. So, have you guys read all of the friendship mage series? I don't even know how many. I don't know that I have, actually. I tried to, but I don't even know how many he has at this point. Oh, these straight lines. My gosh. So this is the view from, like, basically opposite where they were in the last episode. They were outside of this wall, and so I'm trying to make everything look the same from the inside as it would have from the outside, you know. So I had the other comic open, number 11 open, while I was sketching this one, and I realized I was like, dang, why did I put this door here? Because I hate drawing doors. It's a lot of straight lines, and that's what I'm horrible at, along with everything else, I think. But especially lines. Yeah, it'll work. We get this guard. I was pretty happy with the guard. I was pretty happy with both the guard and the golem, magma golem from the last episode design. So I wanted to put the guard in, squeeze the guard in. One more time, and actually the magma golem are in. They're in this one too, like, in a way, as those little plushies. Yeah, exactly. Michael versus straight lines. That's honestly what I should just title my comics, because I wasn't gonna let you guys see me draw the like the outlines. You'll notice I already have those finished, because that, like, honestly, that takes me like 20% of the time of drawing the whole comic, is just drawing those stupid outlines. And then finally, Eat My Paint, another comic dude that you guys hopefully know. I'm like, I hope you guys know some of you guys. He's like, dude, just draw the boxes one time, save them, and then copy them for every comic. So I started doing that. For a while I felt like it was cheating, but then I was like, you gotta be kidding me. It's literally just the outlines, so I don't think you guys mind, do you? No matter what you say, I'm not gonna stop doing it. So. You only, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. You're on the wrong server. This is, you come to the wrong place, my man. Who can draw really good straight lines? Raph? I don't know. I'm sure there are, like, the thing is, I want my lines to be straight, but not like mechanically straight. You know what I mean? Like I still want everything to look hand drawn to give it that kind of vibe, but so like I'm not gonna use a tool to make it straight. I don't know. I think it's kind of a weird paradox that I put myself in for no reason. I wasn't really sure what to do with his bow in this comic, so I just put it behind his back because he's not really using it at all. And I don't think I've ever had him wear it behind his back like this before, but it is kind of convenient to like get it out of his hands. Because there's no reason why he would be holding his bow in this scene, so. Is that true? I don't think he ever, yeah, I never had him hold it. Whoops. Oh shoot, I hit the wrong button on my drawing pad. Good thing I didn't hit the launch nuclear torpedoes button, which is only one button over. Did you see, I'm curious how you saw / heard, like how were you notified that I was doing this stream? Because I went out of my way to not tell anyone just so that I could get a few people hopefully on and just kind of test out what I'm doing on here. Did YouTube send like a notification? I feel like that must be it, right? Oh, for real? Like you were just on YouTube and then boom, it's there. It was there. Like you were watching PewDiePie and it was like, okay, suggested, related to PewDiePie, but with even more followers. Here's Michael. That's dope. Actually, I've been watching PewDiePie more again. I feel like he's gotten a new like a fresh wind, like a second wind since the whole subscribe to PewDiePie thing. Not just like in terms of, obviously he's gotten a ton more followers, but like he personally also seems like way more excited about what he's doing, which makes his videos better. Yeah, what's up, Maddie? Yeah, I'm drawing a Little Archer number 12. Welcome to the stream. Maddie, have you read all the Little Archer comics? That's what's up. Cool. Yeah, well, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I was telling him earlier, I think that I'm going to try and live stream the rest of this season. So I've got, this is episode 12, and then I'm going to do 20 total for this season. I'm sorry, 10 total for this season. Shoot, I hope that was not legally binding that I just signed up for 20 more episodes. Because their studio does not have the budget for that. And I just finished scripting all of them, which is honestly the hardest part, is like coming up with the idea for them. So now I feel like I can do one a week. Is a realistic output. So I thought, yeah, it'd be fun to try and stream them. Why not? Kind of connect my comics more to my YouTube channel, because making animated videos takes like absolutely forever. It's just so much work. But I love doing that. I mean, that's, in a way, it's even more fun than making comics. But anyway, it's for sure a lot more work. And I think you guys can, is it possible to subscribe? Like, do you guys see a subscribe button? I probably should have like tested that out to see. You guys like my guinea pigs in a way. Maybe you already are subscribed on YouTube, but if you're not, do you see like a subscribe button? I trust that you already are. I mean, why would you not be subscribed to Light Roast on YouTube? Literally everybody who's anybody is subscribed to Light Roast on YouTube. This is gonna be a tough line. This is like the counter. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The third, nobody ever wants to talk about Light Roast, but I mean, we're coming, okay? We've got, oh yes, not bad. Yeah, well, I'm coming for those two. Like, forget T-Series. Is there? I feel like at this point there really isn't even a third one that's close, because they're all, and I haven't really been keeping track, so maybe that's totally wrong, but like as soon as PewDiePie started taking off again, so did T-Series. So now they're both at like 80 million, and I feel like no one else is. It's got to not even be close, right? I mean, I'm at 270. I'm probably top 10 or so. Oh, so 1/3 of the way done with the lining. It's not bad. Take a little sip of tea. Y'all could go get your tea if you need a tea or water. It's important to take breaks and stretches. I mean, if I let myself, I'll just sit down and like not stand up until I've finished everything. And then my back will remind me after I try to stand up that I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not the... Actually, I was never flexible, but I was at least like, I don't know, limber, I guess you could say. And now I'm not even that, so. Yeah, dude, go make tea. Go make tea while I talk to Maddie about the first Light Roast comic. not Light Rose comic, Little Archer comic was an idea I'd had honestly for a while before I even drew it, and I was really excited about the idea, but I didn't know exactly what to do with it. So the basic idea I had was, like, obviously you read a lot online about people who are like anti-vaccinating their kids, and it's kind of a meme, and whenever there's a meme, there's bound to be some good comics you can make out of it, as long as you don't get too cringy, you know what I mean? So like, okay, there's got to be something I can do with the vaccine. Like how could I connect that and make it relatable, I guess. The first thing that popped in my head was, okay, let's give an RPG character a small health bar, just because they were never vaccinated. And that was the extent of the idea. I'm just copy pasting this because I just do not have the patience to redraw those bubble letters. Don't tell something nerd related. And honestly, I had some pretty bad ideas for how, like what to do with that very generic idea at first. I don't even remember what all of them were, but then eventually I was like, well, let me just sit down and draw something. And what came out was Berserker, because I guess what I had in my mind was Hawkeye from, I don't know if you guys ever played Fire Emblem. Hawkeye, the big, I think, like formerly his class type was Berserker. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. So he's like loosely based on Hawkeye. Berserker is. And then I thought, well, what if there's a little... So he's obviously too strong to be the weak, unvaccinated looking character. So I need to give him a little friend. Just kind of evolved from there, I guess. And then I bounced it off of a few friends, I think, the comic, and they were like, yeah, dude, you got to publish it. So I usually do that with comics, try to bounce at least the idea off of a friend or two. Yeah, just because you never know. I never know. You might know, but I feel like I never know. I'll have an idea that I'm like, oh, this is an excellent idea, and then it's like completely not understandable, like, and even if it was, it's not funny. So that's really discouraging when you find that out after you post it and thousands of people see it. It's better to find that out from a close friend before you post it anywhere. Or like if there's a way you could tweak it. So, but the first Little Archer was a green light from everybody, so up it went. And it was not called Little Archer. It was never supposed to be a series. Oh yeah, you saw me on Reddit too. Good. Well then I know that I'm not wasting my time posting there. Yeah, I already knew. It's like by far the greatest visibility. Like especially now that like Instagram and Facebook and everybody kind of like just tanks your posts. Barely anybody sees. Like anybody who's not following me doesn't see my Instagram posts, which is, I mean, it is what it is, you know. Did you guys see Raph's comic today on Reddit? Maybe. Yeah, the one of the with the kid who loves the ocean. Yeah, Beach Romance, yeah. Yeah, he streamed he drew that one earlier today and was streaming it. Yeah, best love story. Yeah. Raph's a funny dude. Raph is a funny dude. He I told him he basically inspired me to start drawing comics. Cause I saw his comics pop up in a couple places and I was like, dude, this, and I told him this, and he thought it was funny. So I'll tell you guys, I told him, I was like, when I saw your comics, I thought this dude really sucks at drawing, but he's super funny. And apparently like that works, you know, you can get away with that. Not just get away with it, but like make some really good stuff. So I told him that gave me hope because I didn't know anything about drawing. And he thought that was pretty funny. But honestly, now he actually draws really well. And so now he's like the 1-2 punch of drawing well and being super funny. So I don't even know why the rest of us are still drawing, honestly. Just drawing some pamphlets here. There's no way they're gonna look the same as in the last panel, but that's okay. As in the first panel, I mean. It's such a small feature. I'm not so worried how the lines exactly look. Welcome to Ignior. I think I like, so I've seen streamers who do comics and they start the stream like once they've got people like kind of up and watching, they start by like going through the sketch. But like with the dialogue in it, so they kind of like reveal the joke step by step the way you would kind of read the finished product. I kind of like that idea. I didn't have it like set up this time. Does that look okay? Nah, it's like trash. But would you guys like, I mean, would that be in the future? Would you like to like basically read the comic before we jump into it? Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. What are you gonna call me out on Reddit? Don't embarrass me out there, man. My mom subscribes to me on Reddit, but not on YouTube. Yeah, it would make the start less confusing. You're totally right. Like it would give me it would also give me like a clear, okay, like here's the starting point. Oh, on the yeah, whatever, do it. Then I'll know what your Reddit username is and I'll go downvote all your posts. If you even, I'm just messing with you, obviously. This one, I hope. The more I get into this, the more I'm like, I don't know if it's realistic. I was hoping to have this one done tonight. I don't think it's gonna happen. So normally after I finish a comic, throw it up right away on Patreon, because that's like their perk on Patreon is to see every comic a day early. And then the next day throw it up everywhere. So I was hoping to post it like everywhere tomorrow, but I got started on this way later, and talking to you guys is distracting me in a good way though. Maddie, you were asking how long it takes to make a comic. This one, I mean, like little Archer comics, I would say like a 6-panel little Archer comic, probably 4 hours total. Like including the sketch. So here I've already got the sketch done, which honestly takes at least as long as doing this lining. But like for a normal comic, like my non-little Archer comics, they go way faster because I put way less detail into them, etc. So in that case, it could just be maybe even less than an hour sometimes, but probably more like 1 to 2 hours for a comic. So this one, I don't even know that I'm gonna finish. How long have I been going? Already more than an hour, so I'll probably, how about, my goal will be to finish the lining tonight on the stream. Is that cool with you guys? I'll finish the lining and then it may be my bedtime. I mean, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Which, saying that out loud is like, it's just so hard to wake up in the morning and go out in the cold. It's freezing here. My bus driver is really mean here. It's not even the same one every day, but like somehow every single day, it's like the meanest person in the world is my bus driver. And that's if the bus is even there. So half the time our bus is just canceled out of nowhere. I think I forgot to draw that up here. I did. How can they be mean? If I don't have to interact with them, then I shouldn't say that they're actually mean. So sometimes I don't even have to interact with them. But like every time, I don't want to get too complainy, but the bus is supposed to come every 20 minutes, I think. And so there's exactly one bus that I can take and be on time to catch my train to work. But about 50% of the time that bus, they just like randomly cancel it, but it still pulls up. They just like, the bus driver pulls up and I'm like, hey, I just double check with him like, hey, is this bus leaving at 6:38 or 7:38 if I'm up late? And that's when they always answer like super meanly. Maybe I'm just sensitive. But they're just always so mean, like it's a given and the answer is always no. It seems like, I don't know. If I were in that situation, I guess I would also be a bit confused, like why does this guy not know the bus schedule? But I do know it. They're just like randomly canceling it. So that made a lot less sense as I was explaining it than it does in my head when you know how like sometimes you have this conversation in your head and you're like totally outraged and you know you're in the right, but then when you actually have to explain yourself to somebody, you're like, actually, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You ever feel that way? I feel that way like all the time. Are you playing any good games lately? Any of you guys on here or? Oh, I just forgot. He has that. A literal ton. Like what? What are you in right now? What are you into right now? Well, that's dope. I guess you probably got some dope games for Christmas then. I feel like there was like a wave of really good games that came out at the end of last year. Like everybody went crazy about Red Dead Redemption, if you're into that. Some Dark Souls, yeah. I feel like it might not just be that you suck, but people are always complaining about that game. Not complaining, but like about how hard it is. Yeah, that's cool though. The other ones I have not heard of. I'm becoming like less and less literate in games. This is what happens, man, when you get, well, maybe you already are married and have a job, but it's what happened for me. I got married, got a job, no more games. Just comics, I guess. Berserker's here, stuffing his face. So that's kind of, I was like, I don't know what to have him be doing in this comic, because I didn't like write any lines for him or anything. So it's like, what would he be doing in this situation while Little Archer is talking to the information desk? And then I was like, well, what if he's just feeding his face with the M&Ms or whatever that they always have out, that you have no idea how long those M&Ms have been sitting out there. Berserker does not care. Berserker was vaccinated, so he can eat whatever kind of M&Ms he wants. You realize now that they're... Yeah, it's true. I guess I never really said that they were like actually opposed to vaccinating him, just that they didn't. So there could be... You're right. Actually, it's a good point. The canon never says that they intentionally did not vaccinate him. I like leaving that question open. You know, nobody knows what's happened to his parents, but people are quick to judge. People have been quick to judge him. I'll tell you that. Every time I post one of these, it's like people are like, "Yeah, I hope they find him and and kill him," which I guess I did imply with the first comic, so I can't get that upset. Oh my goodness, I need to finish the rug of that one. But then I think that's it for panel 3. Yeah. Yeah, this is all I'm going to be able to do is these lines. And then call it a night. It's already been quite some time. Just kind of experimenting here on this stream, on this blessed, what day is it? Thursday evening. We are all blessed on this wonderful Thursday evening. Some more straight lines. Don't forget the souvenir sign. Yeah, the souvenir shop in the background was kind of just an idea I had to like give it a little bit more kind of setting for the comic. So in my mind I kind of had, I'm kind of imagining that they're in like almost like a mall entrance, at the entrance to the Lava City. And why would there not be a souvenir shop, you know what I mean? And then if there's a souvenir shop, what would they sell? But Magma Golem plushies. It's the season's hottest toy. I really like drawing steam this way or smoke this way. It's like a pseudo copy inspired by Shen from Owlturd or Shen Comics, whatever you wanna, whatever name you read them under. I just always loved the way he drew the little steam that comes up from the guy's cup in his logo for Blue Chair. Is that? Yeah, that's doable. So I always loved it, so I stole it. Stole his style, which is always a good idea as a... If you're trying to learn how to draw, find somebody whose style you really like and try to mimic it as best you can and make it your own. as best you can. So, like, mimic the parts you like. How would this go? Sure. It took me forever to get the sketch for this pose right. You could see all like how scrappy I made it by the end. I was erasing so many times and redrawing every line. But I really wanted him to be in this pose. Pichler. Okay, is it Pichler or Pitchler? And what's up, Stian? If I'm saying you guys' names wrong, I'm sorry. I feel like a substitute teacher. Did you guys have substitute teachers who would, I mean, they always start the class, they would try to say people's names, and without fail, they would start by saying, I'm really bad with names, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm like, listen, you have a pretty easy job, just get good with names. I'm kidding, being a teacher is actually one of the hardest jobs. But when I was a kid, being a substitute teacher was not one of the hardest jobs. It's German. So Pichler, maybe. Yes. Dude, I'm working on my German and yeah, Stian, you gotta help us out, man. We don't know, or girl, I don't even know if let me not go there. Let me not assume. Pichler, did I know that you're in Germany? Have we talked about that already? Dude, that line. Sometimes I'll draw lines and I'm like, I don't know if you guys appreciate how beautiful that line just came out, because it's just a straight line. Like when people see the final comic, no one's gonna care about. Yeah, I mean, straight lines are supposed to be straight, but it's so hard for me to draw them. I'm so proud every time I pull one out. Like every time I get a line on my first try, it gives me that deep satisfaction. You just can't. It's like getting a high. You just can't get that anywhere else. I feel like, okay, it's actually not that hard to draw straight lines for normal people, but it is for me. I don't know why. What do you guys think about this berserker face? Is it too much? I want him to kind of look like he's chubby bunnying. So let me explain the emotion he's feeling right now. And at this point, I'm just not going to tell you guys what the dialogue of the comic is, because it'll be better if you just see the final thing. But the this guy, the information desk guy, just said something that surprised / scared Berserker, let's say, while he had his mouth full of M&Ms. And this is the expression I'm going for. Your thoughts. it kind of fits. I should have had you guys tell me, like, look at the face. What emotions do you think he's feeling? But it's too late for that. Nice, Nigel. Thank you for hopping on. The first thing you say is so nice. I hope you stay for a while. Some of the other guys are threatening to call out my art when I post it on Reddit. So it's good to have some nice guys on here too. And yeah, the username does check out. Nice. He's not mean, Nigel. So his face is full of M&Ms already, but he's reaching for more. Like, even in the midst, this tells you something about Berserker's character, I think. Like, even in the midst of hearing news that he should be worried about, he's not really that worried that he's going to stop eating M&Ms. Yeah, I did threaten you back. Actually, this has not been a very Christian stream so far. A lot of threats. And I feel like I owe you an apology for that. I would never... Honestly, I don't downvote anything on Reddit because I feel like... Well, don't they... I mean, it's called karma, right? So if you downvote somebody, you can expect to get... No, it's more like... Pretty much nobody posts stuff on the subreddits I go to, which is just pretty much just comics, honestly. Nobody posting there is like... I mean, everybody posting there, let me say it this way, is more or less an artist trying to get their art out there, and they're doing their best. And even if it doesn't like resonate with me or click with me, I just don't feel the need to downvote it. Because I can respect kind of where they're coming from, and I'm on the other side of that quite a bit. Where I think I draw a lot of stuff that doesn't resonate with everybody, and it's honestly, the comics subreddit is a cool community though. I feel like it's well moderated to the point where you don't like have to sit through a bunch of reposts all the time. I mean, yeah, they exist, but for the most part, it's like original content, and yet the mods aren't like power hungry, you know? Like, I've tried posting on some other subreddits when I have a comic that's like wholesome, for example. Maybe I'll try it out on wholesome memes, and it's just a horrible experience every single time because the mods will ban you. Right now I'm serving a ban actually for wholesome memes, for essentially for no reason. I mean, it's not like I really didn't even break their rules, but what can you do? I guess you can appeal it. I don't care that much, so. I do care enough to come on YouTube and complain about it to you guys, though. But more so, I guess what I was just trying to say was that I love the comic subreddit. Oops. Got a few more straight lines. We're almost there. Do you guys Here's a weird question. Do you hear me a lot, like, can you hear like my mouth making sounds a lot? You know what I mean? Like, nothing drives me crazy more than hearing people's mouth. Not like talking, but like opening and closing. That is like the world's worst thing for me. So I could never watch a stream. Okay, good. Because I'm using the same mic settings okay, good. Good. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you guys with all these questions, but it's the first time I stream anything. Actually, I think Pishler, wasn't that you? I like accidentally streamed this on 2 days ago or whatever. And like 2 people accidentally got on. But you guys got on and you're like, what the heck is this guy doing? Yeah. I didn't realize it was gonna save the video. Like, as soon as I realized I was actually live, I was like, oh crap, let me go unlive, go dead, I guess. But then even after that, it still uploaded the video. Oh, you saw? Dang it. I think I've deleted it by now. Not that it wasn't like embarrassing, which I'm actually glad I didn't do anything embarrassing. By my standards, anyway. But I think by now I've deleted it anyway, just because it was kind of, it was just kind of embarrassing to have a video of nothing. I think it was just like me, and I was at work too, actually, because I was testing it out at my lunch. Not my lunch break, but like at the end of the day, kind of wrapping up sort of time. Oh, I messed up his head shape here. TT or crying emoji. What do you want us to call you? Since right now, since like literally 1 minute and 1 hour and 34 minutes ago. Welcome aboard. If you guys aren't subscribed and you want to, I think it's the same as subscribing to my YouTube channel. Can someone confirm that to me? Which will be the best decision you make all night if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Guaranteed. Good. I'm glad, because I'm like, the last thing I need. I thought about going on Twitch to do these, but I was like, you know what? I already have like 500 pages to keep track of, and I already forget about them. Like, I'll forget to post a comic somewhere until the next day sometimes. So I'm like, I don't need another platform. So I figured if I can stream through YouTube, send it out to YouTube subscribers, that would be great. So I'm glad to hear that's how it works. Yes, exactly, confirmed. It is confirmed. You are a funny dude, something nerd related. I'm glad you hopped on the stream. Are you Norwegian, or are you just living in Norway because it's like an awesome place? / would you describe it as an awesome place? That's how I imagine it, but you are, yeah. So then, like, legally you're obligated to say it's an awesome place. Although sometimes, like, people who immigrate somewhere have an even more positive view of that place because they know, maybe they like don't take. I see it a lot in Germany. Like, I think maybe Germans who've always lived here I mean, you just kind of take for granted how good life is here, but people coming from maybe rougher countries appreciate it more, some of the things that they have here. I don't know. I'm getting a little too political for YouTube stream, but that's cool. Yeah, Norway. There's like, did they like pay you to find positive people saying positive things on the internet about Norway? It's true. I feel like I'd never read anything negative about Norway on the internet. TT, should we call you TT? I need to know how to pronounce. I guess I'm just gonna call you TT unless you tell me not to. I messed that leg up. Just T or T. I like it. My name's TT or just T for short. You're right. It does sound like that warmly brewed drink that something nerd related and I have just brewed. So you German dudes, where I'm in Cologne. Are either of you guys in Nordrhein Westphalia or yeah, T squad. TT squad. Are you guys Berliners or? Yeah, right on. I've only been to Berlin one time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it was the worst place I've ever visited in my whole life. I did not like it at all. But I was there for work, so it probably like influenced my opinion. And it was like around this time last year. So you can imagine, I mean, like weather-wise, it was just totally gloomy. I come from Florida, so it's like I had recently moved here from Florida too, so I was like totally new to the whole horrible weather thing. But so I probably need to give Berlin another chance, I guess is what I'm saying. Especially now that I know T lives there, you know what I mean? One of my top 5 allies, I would say. Or top 4, that's how many people are on here right now. I think I forgot to draw the what would you call it? The feathers on his arrows in panel 1. So we're gonna take a brief field trip back to panel 1 before I forget. Yeah, Berlin winter. I mean, I'm sure it's disgusting over there. Does it snow much in Berlin? That drives me nuts about Cologne, is that it doesn't even snow. It's like if you're gonna be cold, then great, then snow, you know what I mean? Not this weird drizzling that never stops. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. It's just gray, exactly. And I felt like the buildings too, like every building I saw was also gray. Is that more? Yeah, it's a better line. Pichler, are any of you guys football fans, as in like European? When I say football, you probably know what I mean, but as an American, I feel like I still have to clarify. It's like the soccer version, the original football. Are you guys football fans? Okay, interesting. You also don't care. Interesting. I have met more Germans than I expected to who don't care. Something nerd related. Do you Is football big in Norway? What sports are big there? Hockey, obviously. Yeah, probably it probably is selection bias. Like the people who are into football just don't want to hang out around me because they know I too am not into football. And it's not for lack of trying. I have tried to be interested in it. Nobody like, but what was that Scandinavian? Wasn't there one of the Scandinavian teams actually did like okay in the World Cup this year? Skiing and chess. Bro, chess. I love chess. I'm not willing to call it a sport. But a competition for sure. I used to love chess, but then my brother became better than me at it, so I had no choice but to hate it and give up. My younger brother. So, but he's like, my younger brother is like certified Mensa level genius. So, like, as I got older, I just kind of had to like accept that he was going to be smarter than me, and I was just going to have to be the good looking one. So it's whatever. Iceland, yeah, isn't that who it was that they like actually did decent this last year in the World Cup? Was it Iceland? Okay, doesn't count as Scandinavian. True. Okay. I guess I have a very liberal definition of Scandinavia. Yeah, there's the real question. Do you count Denmark? It was definitely Iceland. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like one of their players made their promotional video or whatever, I'm pretty sure. It was like, it was just total Cinderella story. Very cool. Are you guys getting Pikachu vibes from this this little Archer pose here? That's the only thing I could think of when I wasn't like, it's not what I was necessarily going for, but as soon as I drew it, I don't dictate what my hand draws. I just, you know, put it down there and hope for the best. And then I was like, he's kind of, something about maybe his eyes and his cheeks are Pikachu-ish. Yeah, now you can't unsee it, so. Okay, here we go. We got a real, like, the legit definition of Scandinavia. You know, I was this close to moving to Sweden instead of Germany, like for, like taking a job in Stockholm instead of, well, actually my job's in Dusseldorf. But I live in Cologne. And now that, like, if I had known it doesn't snow here ever, like at all, I probably would have picked Stockholm, but it's too late now, so. But I did visit Stockholm, and it was totally awesome. I was there for like a month actually, yeah, 3 years ago. So when I picture Norway, it's not. That's what I have in my mind, is basically Stockholm. So I'm sure it's obviously somewhat different, but it's at least my starting point. Have you ever been over to Stockholm then? Something nerd related? Less hellish than sweet. You know, hell means light or bright here in German. So when I see that, it's like you're saying it's darker than Sweden. So just so you know, that's what I just understood. Starting like culture wars on the stream. This is a, just remember you guys, this is a Christian stream. What, actually speaking of language, like confusing, funny language stuff, there's a coffee machine at my job. And before I knew any German, I ordered a coffee from it. And you can, the options for the cappuccino or whatever were hell or extra hell, I think. Yeah, or there was like no, just like normal, I guess. Yeah, it was like normal hell and extra hell. And I selected normal because I would prefer as little hell as possible in my coffee selection. But then obviously it means light or extra light. And I guess it's trying to say how much milk they would put in the cappuccino. So actually now, so like what I would have ordered would have probably been extra hell had I known that. But I'm almost done, y'all. At least with the lining. I really appreciate you guys jumping on. It's definitely making this whole testing out streaming thing a lot more fun to actually have people to banter with. Yeah, why it is I was wondering if somebody was going to ask that. Like I do already have everything drawn. That's my sketch layer. So if I hide, if I hide my lining, which I just realized I think you guys, oh no, it's kind of cut off in the stream, I think. But I have all these layers over here. Can you kind of see where I'm at? So this is my sketch layer that I turn the opacity down. So here's what it looks like if I just have it at full opacity. So it's not horrible, but you can see it's a sketch. Like if I zoom in on this part, for example, it's like I'm pretty reckless with the yeah, you can see half, right, because it's cut off. So my goal when I'm sketching is just to get the shape right, and I don't stress out about the line quality, let's say. And it's something I didn't used to do sketches, but it's improved the quality of my drawing like a millionfold to do it that way. So now when I now on the official lining that I'm doing right now, everything looks crisp and clean, at least to the extent that I'm able to make things crisp and clean. So yeah, really good question though. That at the end you can see I already have a bunch of layers over here prepared, so that's for my fills and shading and stuff. So there's actually still a ways to go with this comic, but The lining and the sketch is probably the hardest part. Oops, I just switched to pencil. Oops. So once I get this done, I wanted to get this for sure done while I'm hanging out with you guys, and then tomorrow probably do the rest. Yeah, it is paint bucket to fill. So the first little archer, and maybe the second one too, I filled by hand, which is really more fun for me because I can get way more like textures, and I like how it kind of comes out, I guess, but it just takes so long, and the difference is small enough, I think, like few enough people would notice it that you just kind of have to choose your battles. So I would rather spend more time making quality lining and coming up with quality ideas than stressing out about doing the fills by hand. So yeah, the fills go pretty quick with the paint bucket tool. And then shading is by hand. But I've started to shade less than I used to. I think I got a little bit shade crazy for a while. Like I was just shading everything, and I've kind of dialed it back a bit lately. Dude, gamers, we've only got one door left to draw and a wall. Am I Hellroast Comics? Yeah. Yeah, actually, that would be a funny... it would be tough to explain, probably, to... like, obviously, I'd have to... It would, like, by the time I explain it to everybody what joke I'm trying to make, it would probably fall flat for them, but it can be like our little joke that I create Hellroast Comics. I like the way that sounds. That's funny. I think, you guys who are actually Germans can correct me, but would you actually call it like a light roast coffee? Would you call it Hell geröstet? I'm very much still learning German. Leicht. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things, like, if somebody asks me a question like that in English, I get that you guys would maybe not exactly agree right away or know what that would be called right away. I feel you guys. But like that's an example of like the kind of thing I still have yet to learn in German, like these little nuances of like, I feel like if I say something one way, it literally makes sense to say it that way, but it's not always the way that a normal human being would say it. Especially when I try to say like idioms, if I translate the idiom word for word from English, that's a bad plan most of the time, because it's totally there's like, it goes both ways, right? German has some funny idioms that don't translate at all to English, and vice versa. What was I was telling somebody the other day, how did I say it? Ich werde aus dein Haar rausgehen, something like that. So I was like, I was trying to say in English, you'd say, I'll get out of your hair. To mean, I'll just leave you alone now. Or I'll leave you in peace now. And he just stared at me like... like you would stare at somebody who said that saying when it doesn't even exist to him. Bro, how did you not know there were coffee intensities when I guess I never say like the name of my comics is Light Roast, but it doesn't necessarily say that it's inspired by coffee. But little known fact, that was my first ever logo, was a coffee mug. And then I was like, this is hideous. I would rather have it be this cute, depressed Mr. Sunshine guy. Yeah, it's like a triple entendre, I guess you could say, the name. It does have to do with roasting somebody, and it has to do with coffee, and it has to do with light, as in leicht, and light as in hell. So it's like every meaning you could possibly take from the name, it means that. So I'm not trying to destroy your, like, what did I just say? Something nerd related. This is an uplifting channel. We don't talk about each other's mamas. Except in uplifting ways. Should I do, I don't even know what colors I want to use for everything, but I'll show you guys. Here's the color palette that I use for Little Archer. Can you see it, or I think my face might be blocking it. Hold on. Come here. Oh yeah, I think you can see it now, right? My color palette that I use for, actually for every comic, but in particular, in this case, for Little Archer. For Little Archer, I obviously have some green colors that I don't use in my normal comics. And I gotta actually come up with a new color for his... What color should this hem on his new level 3 coat be? This is the color of his coat. I was thinking maybe yellow, or just leave it as white. I don't know. Yeah, gold. That popped to your head first. Let's see how it looks once I get them all dressed up. Oops. Need schwarz. I kind of like that. I mean, it kind of makes him look, I don't know. It's definitely noticeable, right? But it's not like, yeah, white gives it a, lightly roasted gold. This is like my main, this yellow is like my main color, and it's not really in anywhere in the Little Archer series yet, so I kind of want to build it in somewhere, but yeah, white could be cool too, for sure. White could be cool. I'm gonna leave it as a question mark for now. But I think we're in agreement. Somewhere either white or yellow. Lightly roasted yellow. Oops. Dang it. Oh man. I'm realizing I forgot a bunch of stuff. Like a bunch of little things, like the his axe is two-tone. It starts off as like wood and then it becomes steel at the top. Oops. But I like to keep the color scheme relatively simple, especially for like my main comics, because if you look at it, just makes it more visually appealing, I guess. Like if you look at Mr. Levenstein, for example, he's got like a few really basic bold colors that he just always uses, and it's like the color combinations are like hideous but also beautiful at the same time, if that makes any sense. I'm definitely not going to do all these fills. I think I'm glad I got you guys feedback to know yellow or white on his hem, but I think I'm going to hang it up because I'm already over 2 hours now, so. Oh my goodness. You guys rule. For some of you guys were on here like a long time. Oh. If you guys have any last words, now is the time to threats. Or I'm probably not gonna stream this comic again. I'll probably just, yeah, you were here for I think the whole thing, pretty much. So thanks a million, dude. And the next time I stream, I'll probably do next week, like episode 13. Which no. I'm excited for every episode, but 14 is gonna be a good one for sure. So I hope you guys like this one when it comes out. Feel free to shout out at me who you are in other places too, so I know. You guys helped me a lot with this one. All right, I'll see you guys in a week-ish. Peace. Oh, it'll come out. Good question. It'll come out Sunday. Let me say Sunday. You can expect it by Sunday or Saturday. Peace.